Hi, this is the video for Thursday, February 25th for AP Literature. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to take you through this agenda and show you resources for how to do your goal setting. That's really the objective for today, is to track evidence for this week. Next week, we'll have our first grade conferences where you're going to sit and sort of explain to me how you're doing with your goals, and you have to have evidence. So we're spending the time today. It'll take you about 15 minutes to track your goals and look back at this week and see how you've collected some data to point towards your achievement in those goals. So there's two major pieces of evidence that I'm going to suggest you look at today. One is this, the race. It's a multiple choice question quiz on AP Classroom. It should take you 8 minutes. It's a timed quiz. You'll be able to keep going after 8 minutes, but the 8 minutes, it's a good timer for you to recognize that's about how much time I have on the test. So the first thing here is the race, and I think I have this in the agenda. Let's go over and see. Yeah, multiple choice. I think a lot of kids were experiencing trouble with AP Classroom. So if you're watching this video, you will have seen 2 emails from me. One is the paper copy of the quiz, and one is the answers to the quiz, and you can do that instead. I do recommend the AP Classroom. It's a lot easier to read the quiz. But if that's not working, just open up my document and take it there. There's also, if this is a really important goal of yours, multiple choice questions. There's a second quiz, an optional one that you can take on AP Classroom. All right, so that's number 1. Do that first, pause the video, go take the quiz, 8 minutes, come back. Number 2 is here. Icarus, our timed write from yesterday, it contains a lot of people's goals. People who have goals in the realm of organization, thesis statement, craft, all of this analysis, it all meets in the timed writes. So I'm asking people to open up their timed writes, and then we didn't end up doing the outline. We jumped right to the models. So in the slides here, you can click on this link. It'll take you to 3 models. We really just read the 9. The 9 is the perfect one. We read the first thesis statement and the first paragraph and compared it to our own. And I'm asking you, think about your own. Think about your Icarus writing in the context of your goal setting. What score do you think you'd be on track for if you have the 9 in front of you? How could you grow? So spend 15 minutes tracking your goals, and I imagine you could bring up this, the Icarus writing, as a piece of evidence, and you could also bring up the multiple choice performance that you just did. Also, evidence comes in the form of my feedback. I see that as evidence of growth. I think my feedback could align with your goals, and you can use it to say, well, I think I'm doing this, and you said this. All of that should help you as you fill out your goal doc. I'm going to read here the last 2 slides, or last 2 bullets. Our first grade meetings will start next week. I just said that. And here, I'm adding completion points. This is paradoxical. I didn't intend to do this, but I'm realizing I need to incentivize you to collect evidence. Otherwise, the whole thing falls apart. So you get 10 points each week for filling out these evidence pieces. That's how important it is. All right, let's look at a model. If you're like, you're talking a lot about evidence and I don't know what you mean. Here is a goal setting doc. And you're going down to the calendar to do your evidence week by week. I do that so that you can sort of remind yourself, what did we even do this week? And you're going to quickly jot down your goals on the right. So pretending that my goals are thesis statement, grammar, mid-sentence punctuation, and then multiple choice. That's my pretend goals. So I am reflecting back on this week. And you can always go back and do one from last week if you didn't. And so I say for thesis statements, I did okay on this in the timed paragraph with Icarus. I had a solid list of what I wanted to discuss, but I didn't really connect them to a broader idea. But I was organized in my thinking. So that was my evidence. Mid-sentence punctuation, my goal there, I'm reflecting back on last week I write because I haven't really practiced this purposefully this week. And last week I did write 3 sentences with appropriate semicolon and colon use. And the multiple choice quiz, that goal of mine, I took the race and I got a 5 out of 8, so below my goal, but I looked at what I got wrong and they all made sense to me. This to me is good evidence. It's solid sort of qualitative evidence that shows your self-reflection. And that is what I'm looking for. I'll check your goal docs at the end of the weekend to give you a little time, and then I'll put in the completion points. And that's it. Oh, back to the agenda. There is the senior commemoration project. I didn't have time to go over it. We're not doing anything with it, but I did want to start putting it out there for you. You're welcome to read that. It's going to be our year-end project. And then your homework. No big Google Doc writing because it's goal setting, evidence tracking. And then readings. Please read the first half of The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan by Wednesday. You stop when you get to the section called American Translation. It's Monticello, so if you haven't picked up your novels, go do that, please. They're waiting for you in the main office. There is an online copy if you really can't get to MHS. And it'll probably take you a couple hours, so definitely start if you haven't, chipping away at that long-ish reading. It's 120 pages or so. All right, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday.